Welcome to another edition of the No Show Sportscast. Today is March 4th, Saturday. We're going to be joined by Mohammed Abdul Hussein momentarily, recapping the NHL Trade Deadline, which happened on March 3rd, so now there are no more trades that can be done. And unlike in the NBA, you can't clear waivers and then magically appear on another team after the trade deadline. So this is pretty much it. The rosters are set. You can add guys from the minors. You can have them come up because they're already in your organization, as we all know. But other than that, you can't, Westbrook can't join the Clippers if this were the NHL right now. So besides all of that, there was a lot of things that happened, but they didn't necessarily happen on the deadline day. It became a joke that there wasn't going to be anything left for the teams that, I want to wait till the deadline to make some noise. I think it all happened when Bo Horvat got traded to the Islanders. That was about 2 weeks ago. So far, he's been doing great for the Islanders. So, yeah, it's been pretty good. But we're definitely going to be talking about the Canucks when Mohammed joins. To be honest, in the last 24 hours, I haven't actually been as glued to my phone and glued to Twitter and just the game scores that are happening, the NBA, the NHL. If you're constantly looking at your phone every period or every half, and you're checking the halftime stats, I mean, it's nice to just take a break sometimes. But at the same time, I had already, me and Mohammed already agreed that we were going to do this. So I was thinking, oh man, I have to prepare. I have to get ready for this. We're not going to talk about what happened on Friday. We're going to talk about the teams that are now set after the trade deadline and what that is going to look like for the rest of the season. Because we want some metrics here, okay? It's March 4th. There's about 5 weeks left of the season, maybe 6 if you're lucky. We're really coming to the end here. And I think that is going to hold testament a lot more than anything that I could say, because I don't know what it's going to be like in a month from now. Injuries happen, right? I mean, it's so much better to kind of tune in then, so you don't have to worry about talking over yourself or making these predictions like the Leafs are going to, go on a 4-0 winning streak or whatever, and the Rangers, they have Pat Kane, so they're never going to lose again. Like, those are kinds of things that we almost expect. I mean, the Rangers are a super team. The Bruins, they just added Tyler Bertuzzi. They're a super team now, right? Like, it's so hard to know exactly. And people are saying that the Bruins, if they lose, then it's going to be a complete failure of a season. Because I think they're already at 101 or 103 points by now. But, I mean, I don't care. Like, to me, the best part about all of this is that when the National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoffs begin, we all start from zero, and that is the most important thing. Every team has an equal shot of winning the playoffs because every team is different in the playoffs. The regular season is exhibition games, okay? They don't mean anything. They're qualifying rounds to get you into the playoffs, and then once you're there, you have to win 16 games. If you can't do that, you got to prepare yourself for April and May and June. If you're lucky, you get to June. But you have to prepare yourself for that. And the only way to do that is to practice what you've been doing, what you've been implementing from the beginning of the season to the middle of the season to the end of the season. Treating it like every game matters. Every game you're starting from zero. That's the only way to go. Because that is exactly what happens in the playoffs. Just because you win the President's Trophy, you don't necessarily win the Stanley Cup. Last team to do it was the 2013 Chicago Blackhawks. They won the Stanley Cup, but that was a lockout year, so there's an asterisk on that. It's very difficult to go through 82 games and come out at the top after those, and then go 16 more rounds, you could say. So the Eastern Conference seems to be just they're kind of going away with it. Like, we should almost just stop talking about the Eastern Conference. Like, can we just focus on the West? Like, which team is actually going to make a difference in the Western Conference? Because it's completely open. It is insane how close these teams are bunched up together. Vegas, 80 points. Dallas, 79. LA, 78. Minnesota, Seattle, Edmonton, 76 points. That's extremely more inferior to the top 5 teams in the Eastern Conference. It's almost turning into a battle of whoever looks like. We can't rule out Colorado, of course. Can't rule out McDavid because he's having an amazing season. But we saw this last year. So why would I consider that this is going to be the outcome this year when it was the same last year? I guess we'll just nullify the entire season then. So last year was the Edmonton Oilers, Colorado Avalanche, Western Conference Final. Okay, well, let's just completely nullify this season then, because that's just going to be the same thing this year. Is there anything else that we can extrapolate? That we can project? Good tea. Very good tea. Vegas and Dallas. Winnipeg. I don't think Winnipeg's for real, but we all start at 0. That's what's going to happen. That's the best part about all of this. And it's true, because when the Los Angeles Kings won the Stanley Cup in 2012, they were the 16th ranked team. And they were going in hot. I think they had won 6 or 8 of their last 10. They were rolling. New Jersey was 6th in the East back when it was 1-8 format. So the 6 played the 3, the 8 played the 1. And the Los Angeles Kings went to the Stanley Cup Final and won in 2012 against the New Jersey Devils. And those teams were not good. But in the playoffs, they were. And that's what matters. That's what counts. That's why I don't give credit to a lot of teams that are only good in the regular season. And that's who Tampa Bay was. We all knew that they were choking because they choked in 2015. Actually, they didn't choke in 2015. They were all injured. Tyler Johnson, Ben Bishop, they were just limping to the final, to that Game 6. It was more so the next year. They lost in the Eastern Conference Final to Pittsburgh, and then they didn't make the playoffs in 2017. 2018, they lose in the Eastern Conference Finals again to Washington, and then they get swept in 2019. We all know the sad story. The long, sad story. That is what we remember. At least that's what I remember. So, Vancouver Canucks. Oh, brother. 53 points, 24 wins in 61 games. Oh, boy. Yeah. It's gonna be difficult to see. I mean, I've been pretty adamant on the show about what I think the future is for the Canucks, and it has to be this way. The Canucks have to realize that there is nothing that they can do until some of these huge, annoying contracts come to an end, and then we can all realize, okay, we've got money to sign who we want. Some of the older guys are done. Okay, the Ekman Larsons and the Myers of the world, their awful contracts are up. Let's just relax here, okay? You add Philip Hronek. Maybe he does a lot of good later. I'm thinking 3 or 4 years from now, when Pettersson's in his prime. That's the problem here. Hughes is going to be in his prime. He's going to have 100 points in a season in the next 5 years, probably. Pettersson's going to do the same. But the Canucks cannot do anything. They have their hands tied. People are getting on their back for signing Philip Hronek for draft picks. It's like, yeah, it doesn't look good. Of course it doesn't look good. But that's okay. Let's just relax here for a second. Okay, let's have some perspective. Because it's not like, I mean, yes, those draft picks are probably going to be good. Detroit's are probably going to be good. I mean, their own. If they get Connor Bedard this season, I'm going to get a jersey. So that's the main point of all of this. But anyway, we got Mohamed Abdul Hussein joining us in a few moments. We're going to talk I want to know what he thinks about the season, because there really is a lot of things that we can kind of take away from here. Everybody thinks of the Bruins. I mean, I just can't wait to I would just prefer it if Tampa Bay wasn't having to go through this battle. Not that they don't stand a chance. I mean, I think they absolutely do. They turn it up on another level in the playoffs. I just don't think that Boston is going to turn down a notch, and then they're going to have to turn down another notch. if anyone's going to be convinced that they're not going to be the team to beat, because there's really no one close. The Hurricanes look good. The Rangers should be unbeatable. Timo Meier joins the New Jersey Devils. Ryan O'Reilly joins the Maple Leafs. Whoever wins the Stanley Cup, this is my point. I'm very, very excited because whoever wins the Stanley Cup this year is going to earn it. They are going to go through the most. Unless it's a team from the Western Conference, because they didn't have to go through New Jersey or the Rangers or the Hurricanes or the Maple Leafs or the Lightning or the Bruins. And heck, even that wild card situation, I mean, Ottawa's not as formidable, Buffalo not either, but the Islanders and the Capitals and the Penguins have been just on a tear recently because they've been playing Tampa, and they just always have their number every year. Pittsburgh and the Edmonton Oilers, those are the two teams I always look out for, and I'm like, okay, we got to figure out how to beat these guys because we haven't had any success. It's very difficult sometimes when you're trying to think, okay, is this team going to be able to do it doesn't matter a whole lot because of the cups that they have. So we're going to be looking at probably what Mohammed thinks about the Vancouver Canucks making some moves.